how do you stay focused? How do you get yourself in momentum to work towards your goals daily? How do you get out of your own brain when it says, I don't want to, I'm tired, I've already worked hard, I need to take a rest, I can't take a rest? What do you do to get yourself out of that mindset? How do you get yourself driven and motivated to go do the work and efforts that you need to do? Well, for me, it's very simple. I follow what I consider a domino effect or a domino process. And it's very, very easy. So if you remember when you were a child and you used to play with dominoes, not the game dominoes, but actual dominoes where you would stack them in line of each other, like sequential order of dominoes, and then you'd flick one and watch the whole line of dominoes collapse. Well, I used to do that a lot when I was a kid, so that's why this makes so much sense to me. So what the domino effect is that you want to find the smallest thing you can do that will initiate the spark of the dominoes knocking over. Now, the cool thing about a domino is that a 2-ounce domino can cause an effect that if knocked over, knocking the 2-ounce domino over can actually end up knocking over a 2,000-pound stone or a 2,000-pound domino, all because of the domino effect. One hitting the next, which then creates more force to hit the next, which then creates more force to hit the next, and continue. So a small, tiny domino like this could start the chain reaction of actually knocking over a domino the size of my car, which is amazing. It's quite impressive how things work like that. Well, the truth is you have dominoes in your life as well. And you have dominoes that when stacked in correct order or done correctly will actually knock over large dominoes, just like I was explaining. And that's the process that I follow. And basically what I do is I find what my initial domino is, like my primary domino that will then lead to all the other dominoes falling in. Now, how do I figure out what other dominoes are? Well, it's the other activities that I need to do. And those things are kind of laid out in a way that basically if I hit one, the next one will then sequentially tower over. So the idea here is, what is the primary domino? What is your primary domino that will set in a cause and effect reaction of the domino effect? What is the prime domino that you can set in place initially that will knock down other dominoes or start the domino effect? For me, I'll tell you my morning routine. My morning routine goes like this. I wake up, I don't hit my snooze alarm, so I wake up at the first alarm. Now, if I do snooze, then this whole thing kind of gets thrown into a curveball. So I try not to hit my snooze button. I wake up right as soon as my alarm goes off. I hop out of bed and I do two things. I just brush my teeth because I live in a 4-story townhouse, which means I have to walk up and down the stairs all day. So I don't like to do that. So I brush my teeth, I put my clothes on. Now, after this is when my ripple effect, or this is when my domino effect starts to come into play. I go downstairs and I take my 2 dogs out. As soon as I'm done taking my 2 dogs out, I take them back in, I lock them up in my living room, and then I go to the gym. I go work out. So my first domino that I truly hit is getting in my car and going to the gym. Now, the reason I do this is because going to the gym is my initial small domino. It's very easy for me to do. It's easy for me to kind of get motivated and go do. However, if I don't hit that domino first thing in the morning, if I don't hit that domino at all, then a lot of my other dominoes are hard to fall in, because what I've done is I've taken a domino and spaced it just a little too far out, and maybe I did hit it or just tried to drop it, but it was a gap between it and the next domino, so it fell flat. So then you try and have to figure out how to get the next domino to flick over, which then is now starting a new domino process, right? So instead, I do these dominoes. And so on my way to the gym, I do one thing, and I listen to either a podcast, usually about 12 to 15 minute podcast. I listen to a piece of my audiobook, or I listen to what's called a Blinkist, which is like a Cliff Notes summary of a book. So on my way to the gym, I'm listening to a book, I'm getting some knowledge and education on something that I'm interested in, and then I get to the gym. Now the gym is my first domino. Once I've knocked that domino over, my next domino that usually falls in place is going to get a green smoothie. So this starts my nutrition habit for the day in a positive manner. Now, on the way from getting my smoothie, I'll usually do one of two things. Either continue to listen to a book, or I do what's called a stack. And the stack for me is how I clear my mind. I get myself focused and aligned for the day, as well as get some whatever bad air, bad juju might be out of my head, allows me to clear my thoughts, allows me to kind of regulate where I'm going for the day or my thought process. Then, boom, I get home. So once I'm home, then I usually will do about 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. 5 to 10 minutes of meditation allows me to clear my mind following the stack, or recalibrate what was said or done in my stack. The meditation allows me to clear my head to go into the next stage of my domino, which is my work. Now, when I do the meditation, it allows me to clear my head and get all the other stuff out, such as what's going on the street today, how, the people at the restaurant last night were dealing or handling things. It allows me to clear my brain, and then allows me to revigorate myself moving forward into my workday. Now, once I'm in my workday, I have then another domino process, and that domino process basically goes like this. I make one quick video, such as something like this, or I do one main gym post. And that gym post then leads to my next step, which is usually checking email. And that next step, I put a timer on my email, so I only do it for about 5 minutes, no less. And I check my email. After my email, I have my workbook. I call it a workbook, or you can call it a war map or whatever you want, but I have my workbook that has my daily activities that I need to do, which is then checking off the small things first. When I say small things, that means the easier to complete, the things that are under 5 to 10 minutes. Because as soon as I hit one of those things off, now I've got even more momentum, which is like a larger domino, hitting into another domino. So then the larger domino starts tumbling, and usually I get 1 to 2 massive things done each day. Now, you might be asking, how does this work? Well, it's simple. It starts with the small domino. It starts with the first domino. And people ask me, like, what do you do if you don't feel like doing something? Well, the answer is simple. I hit the small domino, okay? By hitting the small domino, the other dominoes will start to fall, because once movement has been created or momentum has been created, momentum continues to be generated. Okay, so by starting one small thing that I can do every day and it's easy for me, it starts a cycle of more dominoes being hit over until the largest, most powerful, challenging domino is now being hit with other dominoes, if that makes sense. So instead of trying to tackle large dominoes in the middle, I hit the smallest one every morning, and that's it. Okay, so really what I want you to take away from this is what kind of domino do you have or could create or already is in place that would initiate the domino effect for you? Maybe it's going to the gym. Maybe it's doing 5 minutes of meditation first thing when you wake up. Maybe it's listening to a certain song. Maybe it's doing 100 jumping jacks. Maybe it's going for a run. Whatever it may be. What is the initial domino that you can put in place every day to start your day off that will domino or trickle affect the rest of it? Now, the next piece of that question is, what is the cost of you not hitting that domino? Okay, this is a very, very valuable question for myself, because as I explained, the gym is easy for me. So when I hit that, everything else falls into place. But guess what happens on days that I don't go to the gym? When I don't go work out, it might be 1 time a week, maybe twice a week, every once in a while, but usually I try and keep it just to 1 time a week. And then even then try and get rid of it altogether, because I know what happens. And if I don't hit that domino, the other dominoes usually won't fall in place. So if I don't work out, I usually don't have my green smoothie. And if I don't have my green smoothie, I don't feel energized. And if I don't feel energized, then I make a bad or poor food choice or decision in the middle of the day, which then leaves me groggy and tired, which then leads to me wanting to take a nap or not have energy, which then leads me to doing something stupid like drinking coffee at 3 p.m. and then having a hard time falling asleep. Now, this whole thing, you notice that there was a lot of gaps, but in those gaps, I was very unproductive. And it all started because I did not go to the gym, right? So you have to actually ask yourself, what is the cost of not hitting this domino? It is massive. There is a large cost to not hitting this domino. For you, the cost might be hundreds of dollars a day. The cost could be tons of time wasted that you're not spending with your friends and family. There is a cost to it all. So if you don't hit that domino, what is the cost that it creates or charges you every day by not hitting that domino. Maybe you don't get the work that you needed to get done every day because you didn't hit the domino. And so now you have to work longer hours and you don't get time with your friends and family. That is hugely valuable, right? You can put a dollar sign, like not even a dollar sign, but you can put a cost to that. There is cost to everything, right? Me eating poorly has a negative cost. It costs me more down the line because now I'm tired. And when I'm tired, I feel like shit. And when I feel like shit, I don't perform. That costs me more and more and more. So hopefully that makes sense. And what is the cost of not hitting that domino for you? Now, once you realize the cost of not hitting your dominoes, the next question is, what could you do today to start hitting that domino in a more powerful way? What could you do today or start doing today to hit that domino in a more powerful way? What could you do? For me, I've got mine dialed in, but I'm always looking for a way to improve it. A way that I might be able to improve this is by, instead of driving and listening to books, I could drive and do my stack. Instead of taking the dogs out and just bringing them back in, I could put my headphones in and listen to a motivational tape as I take my dogs out for 5 to 10 minutes. Then I get in the car and I could do my stack in a different layout, which I've done these things and I've played with them. So you will want to play with your dominoes a little bit. However, you want to think about what is the primary domino that you could set up. What small thing, easy thing for you to do will have a domino effect leading to more dominoes, larger and larger and larger, following in sequential order. Then you want to ask yourself, what is the cost that it is costing you to not be hitting that domino, not be hitting that primary domino? Okay, so what is the cost of not hitting that primary domino? And then the third question you want to answer yourself is, what could you do starting today to hit that domino in a more powerful way? So those three questions: what is my primary domino? What is it costing me to not hit my primary domino? And what could I do starting today to hit that primary domino in a more powerful way? Again, your primary domino does not have to be something massive. It doesn't need to be starting a project. It doesn't need to be something that takes you an hour. It simply needs to be something that starts the movement in the right direction. It could be as small as you want, or it could be as large as you want per se, but it has to be something that, one, is going to spark the domino effect of sequential actions being taken, and it needs to be something you can do. Okay? No domino matters if it's something you cannot do, and you can or will not do consistently. So make it something easy for you. Going to the gym is actually easy for me. That's why it's my primary domino. It knocks everything else out. Maybe it's not as easy for you to get up the first time your alarm goes off. So you have to figure out a different way, or assess a different way of triggering a primary domino. Maybe your primary domino is 100 push-ups. Maybe it's 100 squats. Maybe it's 100 jumping jacks. Maybe it's a 5-minute meditation. Maybe it's listening to a motivational tape every morning, right? So again, the questions are, what is your primary domino? And what is the primary domino that you can set up? Okay, maybe you have a domino, but now it's just becoming better and more efficient with the domino. Okay, so what is the primary domino? What is the cost of not hitting the domino? Okay, so what is the actual cost that it's costing you? Time-wise, money-wise, stress-wise, results-wise, what is the cost that it is costing you to not hit that primary domino? And the third question, what could you do to start today to hit that primary domino in a more powerful way? Those three questions will give you more power than you've ever felt. You learn to figure out what domino you need to put in place, and everything else will fall in line. But if you don't have those dominoes, if you have dominoes, for instance, but you don't do them in the order, if you don't line the dominoes up in a straight line, or a line that would be able to hit each other, but you just have a domino here and a domino here and a domino here and a domino here, guess what? You don't get the domino effect. You just are hitting single dominoes. And then you have to space out to where you go and hit the other domino. And then you have to hit the other domino. The goal here should be able to hit one domino and all the other dominoes fall. You do not want to be setting up dominoes to where you're hitting one domino and then another domino and another domino and another domino. You want them to be easy. So what is the easiest thing you can do that would be a primary domino for you? What is the cost of not hitting that primary domino? And what could you start doing today to hit that domino in a more powerful way? You follow those three things, you set a domino effect up, and I guarantee you, you will have better results, more momentum, stronger and more powerful conviction towards your goals. You will have faster movement in the direction of what you want. You will achieve things better and faster than you ever have. And you will be much happier and actually almost automated on a daily basis to where things just fall right into place. You get your workflows into position. You get your power first thing in the morning. You go through these dominoes like nothing because they're not scattered and they're set up correctly, with the smallest domino being hit first, that then leads to a larger and larger and larger and larger domino, but all starting on the one flick. So take that with you today. Answer the questions. What is the primary domino? What is the cost of not hitting the primary domino? And what can I do starting today to hit that domino in a more powerful way? Start that right now, and I guarantee you within the next week, you're already going to have a better habit, you're going to have a better routine, you're going to have better results, and you're going to have more momentum than you ever have.